glad to introduce Monica Beccu-Berto. Monica is professor at the Polytechnic University of Barcelona, Universitat Politècnica de Catalunya. She is a specialist of textual data analysis. She has written several books and several software on the subject. So we are glad to listen to your lecture.
Thank you. First, I have to thank the organizer for inviting and giving me the opportunity to present this talk in Karma, taking into account that correspondence analysis has been first presented for analyzing textual data. It is a big honor to present this topic, textual and lexical statistics, here. I will follow this outline. After a brief introduction, I will introduce the illustrative example that I use to present the method. Within the method, correspondence analysis and clustering methods play an important role. First, I have to say some dates. In the last 50s, several projects forward archiving the classic on electronic database and developing methods to deal with this now available huge collection of texts. Linguists and statisticians have worked about methods grouped under the name of lexical statistics. Correspondence analysis, proposed by Ben Zekri, burst in on this first work to offer a very new and invigorating approach. Correspondence analysis and clustering methods are the core of textual statistics, whose applications are extremely wide-ranging. In 1981, Ben Zekri published Pratique de l'analyse des données linguistique et lexicologie, just now 30 years ago, while Müller published Principes et méthodes de la statistique textuelle 35 years next year. This slide lists all types of corpus. Corpus is a collection of texts that can benefit of statistical analysis. There are many. In fact, we could say that any kind of corpus could be analyzed through statistical methods, anyway that the questions that have to be answered give rise to a statistical approach. To apply statistical method to text, the first challenge is to turning up text into textual data. The starting point is counting up the word frequencies. Lexical statistics start from the sequence of words, then mainly look for the lexical structure of the corpus and the style of the authors. Textual statistics start from the document words matrix. They favor the distribution of words into the documents by applying correspondence analysis and clustering methods. The illustrative example is a closing speech, a closing prosecution speech pronounced at the end of a trial for murder at Barcelona Audience Court in Spanish. It has been compiled, filmed, recorded, and transcribed by a socio-legal research team. They have also segmented this oral speech into 59 discursive space, taking as breakpoints the tone ruptures and silence of the prosecutor. It takes about 1 hour and 15 minutes. I reproduce here the beginning of the speech and you can see that there is no punctuation thing. The objective, for the prosecutor, the objective was to demonstrate his thesis, convince the audience, who are judges, lawyers, in this case no jury, while observing the law. He has to adopt a convenient discursive strategy, selection of words, arguments order, rhythm of the speech. For the analyst, the objective is to uncover, through statistical tools, how the prosecutor use the information at his disposal to structure his speech on argumentation. And also, we would like to say, is the speech good? Some word about the context. It is a very villainous case, the murder of a prostitute by her pimp to cash a substantial life insurance. Since the first moments, he made her sing an insurance in favor of his own children when this prostitute has her own children. He has, since the beginning, the intention to kill her. But there is no evidence. And hair has been found on the corpse and sent to a laboratory, but it was lost. Only one witness, Maria Fuensanta, a woman who was working in the prostitution locale, had heard the pimp talking with an accomplice about the murder. However, she withdrew a statement to the police when facing the judge. She was probably afraid. So the prosecutor has to rely on persuasive clues, circumstantial evidence, to show the implausibility of the defense thesis. The defense thesis is that the pimp and the prostitute are a real couple, and for that, she has seen this insurance. He was desperate when she disappeared. He looked for her in any part of Barcelona. It is a first important case for the prosecutor, who is young, while the defendant is the best criminal counsel of Barcelona. The colleagues of the prosecutor consider this case as a lost case, but the prosecutor took things at heart because he was convinced of the culpability of the pimp. This speech is an oral speech that follows a classical scheme listing the offenses, in this case 3 offenses, an offense related to prostitution, the fraud to insurance, and the murder. He has also to indicate the legal framework. Then he describes the facts, the data, and their connection. At the end, he qualifies this fact in a legal way as the conclusive part of the speech. This speech is largely improvised. The prosecutor has to pronounce it right at the end of the trial, taking into account what has occurred during all the events and statements, including the last ones. Now, the statistical analysis of this speech. First, how the texts are encoded and converted in data structures. Then the glossary of words, and then what tell us lexical statistics and textual statistics about the text. Text encoding, 2 steps are important to choose the textual units and to segment the corpus into documents. I remember that in this case, we have one corpus composed of only one text. The usual textual units are either the words, exactly as they are written, in this case, con, la, venia, or this word can be converted into lemmas, that is, to the corresponding entrance of the dictionary. The infinitive form for the verbs, the masculine singular form for the adjectives, and the singular for the substantive. Generally, the lemma and the grammar category of the lemma are sticked. For example, con, preposition, le, article, venia, feminine, substantive, etc. We can also consider repeated segments, that is, sequence of words identically repeated along the corpus, in this case, Ministerio Fiscal, este Ministerio Fiscal. Fiscal is prosecutor. In some cases, only tool or grammar words are conserved. In other cases, only full words are conserved. In this case, we have conserved all the words. Segmentation of the corpus. In the example, two nested segmentation, which is frequent. First, the segmentation into discursive space. Then a less fine and more regular segmentation into 20 blocks of about 500 occurrences, whose limits correspond to discursive space limits. Data structure. With a short example of a corpus composed of 3 documents with a length of 14 occurrences and a vocabulary of 9 distinct words, I present the 2 classical encoding of the text, either into a sequence of labeled occurrence. In this case, all the occurrences are conserved, either in a table, documents, word, matrix, generally eliminating the less frequent words. This table can also be completed by juxtaposing a classical documents variables table, taking into account the characteristic of every document as date, topic, author. Now result on this corpus, its length is 10,400 occurrences, composed from about 1,800 distinct words. If we consider only the words repeated at least 5 times, we consider 302 words, about 80% of the corpus. We have to note that the discursive space present a large range of lengths, from 54 occurrences to close to 500 occurrences. First important result, the glossary of words. The frequent words in this case are related to life insurance, to the actors of this trial, the victim, the murderer, the accomplice, the witness, and so on. Many words related to the statement of the witness for the prosecution. Words like facts, data, clues, to show that the rationale of the prosecutor relied on solid arguments, and also words indicating conviction. Really, it is established, and so on. Now, what can lexical statistic tell us about the closing speech? Lexical statistic consider the corpus as encoded in a sequence of occurrence. I will present 2 methods of this family. The first, vocabulary distribution index by Hubert and Labbé. This method determines which words are stable with a uniform distribution in the corpus, and also which words are particularly local. Concerning the stable words, these words, not always important from the frequency point of view, give a tone to the speech, impose an idea or a general impression through their regular appearance. In our case, many stable words passes on a conviction message. The prosecutor has no doubt and wishes to transmit his conviction. The second method is the growth of the vocabulary by Labbé and Hubert from a first idea by Müller. In any corpus, when increasing the length from one occurrence to any occurrence, the vocabulary increase from one distinct word to the distinct word, following a curve very similar to this one, with a growth of the vocabulary every time more marginal. Labbé and Hubert propose to fit his growth following this model. The speaker randomly draws occurrence either from the specialized urns with specialized vocabulary with probability P, or from the general urn with probability Q. The result from estimating the model are an estimation of P and also the possibility to compute at every stage any prima of the corpus the expected vocabulary size. So, at every stage of the corpus, we can compare the expected and observed vocabularies, giving rise to this kind of curve. In the case of the closing speech, P is estimated to 0.19, that is a high specialization in the case of a corpus composed of only one speech about only one topic. Concerning the curve observed minus expected vocabulary, we can see at the beginning an unusual equality between observed and expected vocabulary, then an important arrival of new words, that is a new topic. This topic is then exhausted at block 11, and small new vocabulary also. Block 80, a new important arrival vocabulary, and also in block 20. So we have a first elements to segment the corpus in homogeneous interval. We will see how correspondence analysis will confirm this structure and will confirm and specify this structure. Now, what textual statistics tell us about the closing speech? Now we consider a table space by words, lexical table, conserving only the words pronounced at least 5 times. We apply correspondence analysis to this table with a great disappointment. Only local phenomena are put to the fore, space very particular, as we can see, superposing vocabulary and space factorial planes. But we were looking for a global structure. We are not interested by only local elements. So the idea was to segment the corpus into these 20 blocks of about 500 occurrences. And magically, a structure appears. These blocks are projected now as supplementary element on the former graph. A structure appears from block 1 to block 17. We see the typical horseshoe shape with irregularities that are meaningful. The regular or true will indicate a regular evolution of the vocabulary along the time. At block 18, there is a disruption, a brutal disruption of the evolution of the vocabulary. Like, 17, 18, 19, 20. As we see that the evolution of the vocabulary is much more meaningful at block level than at space level, it looks logical to analyze the block's words matrix. That is, the row space belonging to the same block are collapsed into a unique row. And we observe with this second analysis the same shape, a little bit more detail, in particular in the central part, because now the axis maximizes the dispersion among blocks, not on words. The rhetorical trajectory of the corpus is now visualized. We can say we have the shape of the corpus with the same distribution at block 18. We superpose the representation of words on blocks. Here, the trajectory of block is dilated because the scale is not the same. We can also project the repeated segments to make clearer the meaning of the word. And it is important to know that where there are more repeated segments, more repetitive is the language. So now we can read the evolution of the word. At the beginning, listing the offense. Block 2-3, the offense related to the prostitution is clearly established. There is no problem. At block 4, after saying that there is no evidence, which is not any problem, the prosecutor introduces the typical rationale when there is no evidence, only clues that are to be chained together to constitute a proof of the crime. After that, he discusses the strange insurance. Why the beneficiary are the children of the murderer and not of the prostitute? He tries to demonstrate the implausibility of a couple relationship between the murderer and the prostitute, mentioning data, facts linked to this thesis. In some manner, he exhausted this topic to make a jump until block 14. Pasamos a las declaraciones. Go to the statements of Maria Fuenzsanta. This statement withdrew when facing the judge. She had heard the pimp and his accomplice speaking about the murder. After that, he developed the implausibility of the accused, of the retraction of the witness, and after that, he is exhausted. The judge has to give him a glass of water, he cannot speak, and in the following part of the speech, we see a big disorganization. In fact, before this step, we have to test the stability of the block, in this case, through partial bootstrap, showing that the blocks are stable despite of their small size, while the words present large confidence ellipse. We have to take account that they are not very frequent, most of them. Nevertheless, we can see some interesting points, such as acusados, the pimp and his accomplice, and acusado, only the pimp, play a different role in the closing speech. It is clear there is an important defendant and the defendant and his accomplice. In this year's clues and prueba evidence can be considered as synonym within this speech, just what the prosecutor has looked for. So, after obtaining the structure of the corpus through correspondence analysis, we also applied constraint clustering. Constraint clustering, only adjacent blocks or nodes can be gathered, and in this case from the coordinates on the 6 first axis. As in any hierarchical clustering, you can choose different levels for cutting the tree. If we cut at this level, we obtain 3 clusters, 3 parts. The 3 first blocks. Here, the demonstration of the first offense without any problem. From block 4 to block 17, the large part of the corpus well controlled about the second and third offense with the difficulty of probing this crime. And finally, the 3 last block corresponding to a disorganizing part. We can want to look a finer cutting out of the speech in 6 classes in these cases, very similar to what the gross vocabulary model said before. We can see here 2 isolated blocks, block 4 and block 18. Just the block showing an important arrival of words. So we can segment the speech in these 6 classes. The 3 blocks, very easy to pronounce. Block 4 dedicated to how the prosecutor will argument through rationale by clues, then the large demonstration of the culpability of the defendants is divided into parts, block 18 and the final block. I have to mention that block 18 brings an important quantity of new words that are very few pronounced, so that are not used after in another part. The cluster, the part of the corpus, can be represented on the factorial plane with the 2 isolated blocks. Clustering, we have to remember that this clustering takes into account the sequence. And after that, we can characterize every cluster by the over-pronounced word, which is not very very informative here, because two reasons. The blocks are short. These methods compare one block to all the other blocks, and also, and for that, it is interesting to look for the own word of every block, to the original vocabulary of every block or every cluster. And lexical statistic, we go back to lexical statistic, offer indexes to measure the originality of a part of a corpus as well as the diversity of the part of a corpus. The originality is computed from the own word of every part, while the diversity corresponds to the number of different words that are used in this part. In this case, the indexes are means as computed on the block corresponding to every cluster. I wanted to mention that block 5, that is to say, the cluster 5, excuse me, that is to say, the cluster containing only block 18 is very original. In this block there are a lot of new words concerning the personality of the victim. For that is coming back to describing the implausibility of the couple relation. So, to summarize the analysis of the corpus, we can say that correspondence analysis provides the shape, the rhythm of the closing speech, but it underlines the interrelationship between words, between documents, your blocks, and between words and documents, leading to uncover the meaning of the corpus. Segmented in homogeneous part interval by means of constraint clustering, taking into account more axes, altogether that allows for accessing the meaning of the text. I suppose that you are interested by the end of the trial. The defendants have been condemned for murder charge by the Audience Court of Barcelona and then by the Supreme Court for appeal. It is a good speech. It was a good speech. Now I want to have a brief look to the very important application of textual statistics that are the open-ended question in surveys. In this case, we have a large collection of short text, in some cases very short, one word, for example, but enrich each text by a large amount of data about the respondent's author through the answer to the closed question. This kind of text presents specific difficulty, as we will see, and the starting point of our proposal is to simultaneously analyze open-ended and closed question, corresponding to the fact that any text meaning can only be disclosed when the speaker is identified through his or her characteristic. In that we follow Borges, that imagine in fiction that in the 20th century a French called Pierre Menard, in the fiction, wrote again Don Quixote. He did not copy Don Quixote. He wrote again Don Quixote, and he arrived to exactly the same text for some chapter after he died and did not finish his work. But Borges says, for example, comparing both texts, Cervantes wrote La verdad cuya madre es la historia, while Menard, on the contrary, wrote La verdad cuya madre es la historia. That is exactly the same text. And after that, Borges developed a large comparing critique of this text. It is clear the contrast of style. Cervantes use a very fluid Spanish, while Pierre Menard used an archaic Spanish, and so on and so on, showing that the same text written in different centuries, 20th and 17th century, by persons from distinct culture cannot have the same meaning. That is our starting point. With an example, a survey to Spanish judges. In this case, about 200 judges have been interrogated. There were close questions about this judicial practice, and one open-ended question: what is a good judge? When analyzing the respondents' word matrix, we obtain this kind of result, very disappointing result, because of the weak structure of the lexical table. The correspondence analysis mainly reflects local phenomena. So we propose to resort either to canonical correspondence analysis or to multiple factor analysis to take into account open-ended and closed questions. The former method is convenient when some answer to closed question can be considered as explicative of the open-ended question, while the second is convenient when some open-ended and closed question can be considered altogether as a battery of questions looking for circumventing a same topic. Result of canonical correspondence analysis on the survey to judge. In this case, we have three types of objects: individuals, words, and variables categories. We found a structure shared by a large number of individuals and a large number of words was we were looking for. After, the individual can be clustered from their coordinate on the CCA axis. In fact, CCA enlarged the usual practice in this kind of text of aggregated lexical table. CCA and aggregating from only one qualitative variables are identical to CA applied to the resulting table. The dispersion of individual or the dispersion of words are now related to the difference in the answer to the closed question. A second example, a survey to about 900 children of about 10, 11 years. These children had answered to a questionnaire about reading practice and also have completed these two assertions. For me to read means I believe that reading is important because when analyzing the table respondent words by correspondence analysis, we have the same kind of results that with a judge. When analyzing simultaneously closed question about reading practice and these two open-ended questions, we have also axes shared by a great part of the individual, what we were looking for. Some conclusive remarks. Lexical statistics provide above all global indicators like specialization of the vocabulary, diversity, originality. Textual statistics through correspondence analysis allows for accessing to the rhetorical shape of the corpus. Constraint clustering locates the disruption and provides a segmentation of the corpus into homogeneous intervals. Automatic selection of characteristic words uncovers the meaning of the shapes and disruption. There are applications in a great variety of fields. We can mention that there is increasing importance in bibliography and technological worlds to study the evolution, the trend, the position, the disruption of the researcher works. Finally, correspondence analysis should and will be more widely used to extract information from large textual databases. Simultaneous analysis of textual and metadata opens interesting perspectives. Some reference, and thank you for your attention.